This story is from Lumisette Narratives, where quiet sacrifices finally speak. She was loyal. Not loudly, not dramatically. She was loyal in the way women often are, silently, consistently, and at great personal cost. And for a long time, she believed that loyalty was love, until one day, she realized the truth. Her loyalty wasn't saving the relationship, it was slowly killing her. Amina had never been the kind of woman who gave up easily. She stayed when things became uncomfortable. She stayed when effort became one's. She stayed when her voice started to shrink. People admired her strength. She's so patient. She's such a good wife. She holds everything together. What they didn't realize was that patience had slowly replaced joy, believed that commitment meant endurance, that love meant sacrifice, that loyalty meant staying. No matter how heavy the cost, she learned this from the women before her, women who carried marriages like burdens, who called exhaustion virtue, who confused silence with maturity. So when her husband, Karim, became distant, Amina didn't question it. She adapted. When he stopped asking how her day was, she stopped answering. When conversations became transactional, she made them smoother. When affection faded, she told herself it was normal. She didn't want to be difficult. She didn't want to be demanding. She didn't want to threaten the peace, so she stayed. Loyalty, when unbalanced, is not love. It is slow erasure. Amina woke up every day asking herself one question she never voiced. How can I make this easier for him? She adjusted her needs to fit his comfort. She softened her opinions. She delayed her dreams, not because he demanded it, but because loyalty taught her that love should not inconvenience the other person. Karim wasn't cruel. He wasn't abusive. He simply took what was given endlessly. He assumed Amina was fine because she never complained. He assumed her silence meant satisfaction. He assumed loyalty meant consent. And Amina, trained to endure, kept giving until her body began to speak what her mouth refused to say. Amina grew tired in ways sleep couldn't fix. She felt heavy even on quiet mornings. She cried in the shower without understanding why. She felt anxious for no clear reason. Doctors found nothing wrong. Friends told her she was lucky, but deep inside, something felt dangerously empty. She realized she no longer recognized herself. The woman who laughed easily had disappeared. The woman who dreamed boldly had gone quiet. The woman who once felt alive now felt functional. Loyalty had turned into survival, and survival is not living. The realization didn't arrive dramatically. It arrived quietly. During an ordinary moment, Amina was folding laundry while Karim spoke about his plans, his work, his ambitions, his future. She listened. She nodded, and then she noticed something terrifying. He never once asked about hers, not out of cruelty, out of habit, and in that moment, a question rose inside her. If I disappeared emotionally, would he notice? The answer came too easily, no, because she already had. Amina began to see her loyalty clearly for the first time. It wasn't rooted in love alone. It was rooted in fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of being labeled ungrateful. Fear of starting over. She realized she wasn't staying because the relationship was fulfilling. She was staying because leaving felt terrifying, and loyalty, when driven by fear, becomes self-betrayal. She had been faithful to the relationship, but unfaithful to herself. speaking the truth, felt like standing at the edge of a cliff. Amina didn't want to accuse. She didn't want to blame. She didn't want to hurt, but she was already hurting. So one evening, with a voice that trembled but didn't break, she spoke. She told Karim she felt unseen. She told him she had been shrinking to keep the peace. She told him her loyalty had cost her joy. Karim was shocked, not because he didn't care, but because he had never known. He told her he thought she was strong, that he believed she was content, that he never meant to take her silence as permission, but intention doesn't erase impact love. Alone doesn't guarantee change. Awareness is only the beginning. Amina waited to see if understanding would become action. For a while, it did. He listened more. He tried harder. He asked questions, but habits formed over years don't dissolve overnight. Slowly, the effort faded. The old patterns returned. The imbalance resurfaced, and Amina faced the hardest truth of all. You cannot heal in the same environment that taught you to disappear. Leaving wasn't dramatic. There were no slammed doors, no screaming matches, just a quiet decision. For the first time, Amina chose herself without apology. She chose rest over endurance. She chose honesty over harmony. She chose self-respect over loyalty that demanded her silence. She didn't leave because she stopped loving him. She left because she started loving herself. Life, after loyalty, felt strange. Guilt followed her. Doubt whispered constantly, but something else appeared to relief. She breathed deeper. She laughed freely. She felt present again, for the first time in years. She wasn't managing someone else's comfort at the expense of her own soul. And slowly, she understood something powerful. Loyalty should never require your disappearance. Women are often praised for endurance, for patience, for sacrifice, for staying. But no one teaches them when to stop. No one teaches them that loyalty has limits. No one teaches them that love should not cost their identity. Loyalty without boundaries is not noble, it is dangerous. If this story stirred something inside you, pause for a moment. Ask yourself gently, where am I being loyal at my own expense? What part of me have I been silencing to keep the peace? Who am I betraying by staying quiet? Because love should not feel like self-abandonment. This story was shared with you by Lumisette Narratives, where emotional truth matters more than perfection. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Lumisette Narratives. More stories await, stories about courage, self-respect, healing, and the quiet strength it takes to choose yourself. Until next time, remember, loyalty should never cost you your life.